Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson Jet Setting resort review. Today we are checking out the NoMad Las Vegas. It's a part of the Park MGM complex, which is operated by MGM Resorts and is a part of the World of Hyatt program as a result. So let us check out the full property review. You may not have heard of the NoMad Las Vegas because it's kind of hidden, and that's on purpose. It's on the higher floors of the Park MGM property, which used to be the Monte Carlo. So a lot of the facilities at the NoMad are shared with the Park MGM, but there are some exclusive spaces that if you come at the right time of year, you get a little bit more exclusive access. I booked my stay with AMX's Fine Hotels and Resorts, which offers a number of different benefits. I get 4 p.m. guaranteed late checkout, free breakfast in the morning at Primrose, $100 food and beverage credit that I can use at any MGM resort, food and beverage across the board. So really a lot of great benefits, and the stay was less than $200 a night. So a lot of benefits for a one-night stay like I had. I'm entering here from the self-parking garage that the Park MGM shares with NoMad, but you can enter the property via a dedicated entrance at the front of the hotel. It's also where you'd valet your vehicles. So if you want that sort of access, you definitely can. There is paid parking there though. With my World of Hyatt status, I get matched to M Life Gold status, so I get free parking, and self-park is really no big deal for me. So right now we're taking a look at the Park MGM's lobby. You have to walk through that to get to the NoMad lobby if you're coming from self-parking like I did, so we can take a look here. The NoMad, like I said, is very hidden, so you actually have to walk through the guest elevators and through the dedicated elevators for NoMad to get to the NoMad lobby. So we'll show you exactly how that happens just ahead. So while everything is bright and airy here in the Park MGM part of the property, you'll see the NoMad section gets a lot darker, almost like you're in a speakeasy or a library. There's a restaurant called The Library, actually, so there's a good reason for feeling like that, but I love the look of this place. Thought they did a great job. Hadn't really been back here during my previous Las Vegas visits. So this is the main lobby of the NoMad, and it's obviously a lot quieter, a lot less people. The Park MGM lobby was pretty packed with people checking out while I was there. So fantastic looking area to kind of hang out in, meet some friends if they can find you in this hidden nook of a hotel. Check-in was very quick and a lot of personal service as you'd expect at a Fine Hotels and Resorts property, so definitely elevated there compared to my check-in at the Park MGM. But you can check in via the M Life app, like most properties that big brands are doing now for COVID and just for staffing purposes. You can do all that in the app. With me having a lot of credits on this room, I wanted to make sure everything was explained to me at check-in, so I went to the front desk. But now we're up on the floor of my suite. I got upgraded to a junior suite with Fine Hotels and Resorts, so that was really great. And let's take a look at the room. So all the suites at the Park MGM as well as NoMad are kind of located closer to the elevator, so way less of a walk, which I do like. Didn't hear any elevator noise either, which is nice. But you notice immediately that the room is very nicely appointed. You have this cool bureau sort of luggage looking minibar setup that's very custom and high-end looking. Had a drawer for various items, and then you have your safe and your mini fridge. So that was nice to see. My Park MGM room didn't have a mini fridge that was stocked, so I guess they're stocking it at the NoMad for the higher spending guests. So lots of options there, all very expensive. You can get free drinks down in the casino if you're a gambler, so I would try to avoid those, but a nice little bureau there for doing some makeup or maybe a little bit of work. Some nice appointments around the walls, etc. And then here is where I thought would be the bathroom, but it's actually a walk-in closet. So a nice walk-in closet here at the NoMad. And we'll continue on to the main part of the bedroom. They didn't have a king bedroom, so I got 2 doubles, which, for me, not really a big deal. I was traveling alone this trip. But nice little end table in between the beds, tons of art on the walls to kind of give you that exclusive feel, high-end hotel. I thought they did a really, really nice job here. And then a nice little dining set for two that overlooked the main window of the room. The room itself really only has one window that's right there. They also have some plugs for you if you were working, so this could function as a nice desk. But it looks like there would be a massive window behind this, but actually those curtains are just covering the curvature of the wall. So there's nothing behind that, but it's a nice little seating area if you're watching some sports. That's pretty great. And then we're gonna make our way into the main bathroom, which I loved all the mosaic tile on the bottom. And some nice appointments as well. In the sink area, they had they had single-use toiletries, which I thought was nice for a Vegas hotel. I'm seeing more and more hotels, including the Resorts World Las Vegas, go to multi-use, massive shampoos in the showers. One sad thing with this shower is that they didn't have a shower door, which I just absolutely hate. It's freezing if you're not under the water, so keep that in mind if you were planning on staying in that hotel and it's a big deal to you, like it is for me. Separate toilet area, which is fantastic. And I loved all the rugs that just made it feel like a home, like you were staying in a high-end home versus a hotel or a resort. And my room overlooked the T-Mobile Arena, so no strip view really, but you had a great view of actually both of the new venues in Vegas for sports teams. I wanted to include this as well. I just loved the soft items that they gave you at check-in, including a guide to Las Vegas that was curated, so that was nice. And then if you're interested in the Fine Hotels and Resorts letter that any stay at a Fine Hotels and Resorts property gives you, you can take a look at that as well, at all the inclusions. And so here's a look at the gym. Unfortunately, the NoMad doesn't have its own gym. You share it with Park MGM, so I'm not too thrilled with this arrangement. The hotel's pretty big, so if this hotel was sold out, you're gonna have a hard time getting a machine, and the gym itself is not very big. So they do have a spa. I didn't check it out. I think that it's probably pretty overpriced for what you get, but there you go. And then the NoMad does have its own pool. I was here in December, so the pool was closed, unfortunately, which I thought was kind of a bummer. I think they do note it on the website, but they promote that as a benefit in all of their marketing and don't tell you in the marketing that it's closed. So keep that in mind. The Park MGM does have its own pool complex that you have access to with the NoMad, so you do have a pool to use, and I'll show you that in just a second. But you have your own dedicated elevators here to get you up to the NoMad pool. So I wasn't able to get a shot of the pool from the air, but I did get a shot of the Park MGM pool complex at night. A lot of this was actually closed because it is winter time, but they did heat one of the smaller pools up front for guests, and I returned there during the daytime to take a look on the ground. So you do have a bar with some snacks that was open. They were selling some beer, but the main bar at the pool that would be really popping during the summer months was closed. They have a locker and some charging stations for phones, which is always helpful. But you can see the pool as well as the hot tub was at least, in use during December. During the days of my trip, it got up to about 75 degrees at midday or when it was the hottest during the day, and it was freezing at night. So nice that they at least were operating it that way. I did detail this in my Park MGM resort review, but there are a lot of shared facilities with the NoMad, so we're gonna go over all of those in detail. The NoMad has an excellent location, just like the Park MGM, because it's in the same building. It's in between the New York, the park, which is operated by MGM Resorts, which leads to the T-Mobile Arena, and then the City Center complex, which has the Aria and the Vidara, and the Waldorf Astoria property. So we're gonna check out all the restaurants on property and then go check out what the location looks like around the property. So this is the NoMad dedicated area. Those doors are where you come into the property if you're just arriving. But the NoMad has a bar and restaurant. This is the NoMad bar. It's open to anyone. You don't get private access as a NoMad guest, but it seemed quite popular. And then this is the bar of the library, which is a really cool looking restaurant that you'll see in a second. It really does feel like you're in a library. Very private, intimate feel. So great spot for a date or a fancy meal. So definitely check that out if you're staying at the NoMad. And as you continue on to the main part of the Park MGM, NoMad kind of fades to Park MGM, but they have some nice little touches that make you feel like you are in like a dedicated NoMad area. Some machines that are custom to the NoMad. But now we're in the main Park MGM area. There's the center bar for the casino. The casino floor has a ton of restaurants around it that we're gonna go into, and I was able to dine at a few during my stay at the NoMad. Bavette's Steakhouse is a French bistro style place. It's very tucked in, feels very intimate as well. You'll notice that theme a lot at the Park MGM. I felt like all the restaurant concepts really do a good job of making you feel like you are on a themed, property, even though the theme is just Art Nouveau France. But it does feel like you're in France. They have some steak frites. They have a nice old fashioned. So I was able to enjoy those with my $100 food and beverage credit from my Fine Hotels and Resort stay, and you get access to those with the Amex Platinum card. It's $550 a year. It's being raised in price this year, so take a look at that if you're interested in those rates, which sometimes can be really good, especially in Las Vegas. There's a bunch of properties that are really low priced for what you get. So the Juniper Lounge is a place off the casino floor. It has a lot of cocktails in the small food menu. The BetMGM Sportsbook and Bar is, of course, a sports book and a full bar setup that operates as a restaurant. You can just hang out. You don't actually have to be sports betting, but it's a nice, convenient option if you are there for the game. Next door to that, it's the Side Betty Grill, which is a great name for next to a sports betting lounge, but American food there. And then on the record, as we move closer to the front strip side of the casino, has sort of a speakeasy bar feel, and it's a music venue, so lots of options there for live music lovers and bar lovers alike. Mama Rabbit Bar is a cool concept. They have some live entertainment portions. I didn't actually get a chance to go in here, but tequila bar, tons of different types of tequilas. Love the look of this place, nice and bright. But then next door is Best Friend, which is Roy Choi, one of the founders of kind of the food truck movement's brick and mortar restaurant. Looks like a bodega from New York City. It has a hidden restaurant in the back with Korean Mexican fusion cuisine, but you can also order from the menu at the bar there. So I was able to do that and check it out. They have some great Korean short rib tacos that honestly are not to be missed. So you can take a look at those up ahead. The biggest food experience on property at the NoMad and Park MGM is Eataly. So you may have been to an Eataly in a major city. This one seems pretty big. You have to enter through it from the strip to get to the Park MGM and the NoMad. Lots and lots of options here. You can use your food and beverage credit here, which is really great. Lots of smaller, cheaper items that you can mix and match and charge back to your room to take advantage of that. But I just really love this place and how authentic it feels for good Italian cuisine. So as we take a look at the Park MGM carpet, we're outside the Park MGM on the strip. And the Park MGM does have the Dolby Live Theater, so a lot of big bands check out Dolby Live. So they had the Foo Fighters. One of the times I stayed here, there was Aerosmith. And next door to that is the New York, but in between the two properties is the park. And there are a lot of nice restaurants there for enjoying before maybe one of the theater shows or before a game at T-Mobile Arena. This all leads in, but they have a nice park feel to it. So really a awesome, knocked out of the park execution by the MGM Resorts team to make you feel like you're really not in Vegas. So we're going to do a little walking tour here and then head back into the Park MGM. So if you're done with the Park MGM and you want to head somewhere else, you can head to City Center or the Bellagio without walking. You have to just head to the back of the property where you can catch the City Center tram to take you to one of those properties. So you can charge back any restaurant or bar back to your room here at the Park MGM. You just need your room number and the property that you're staying at. And it's a nice option if you don't want to walk. It doesn't really save you too much time because it does take a little bit to get back to the tram, but it's a nice option. It's free, and if you're tired of walking around, it's definitely an option. So heading back to the Nomad, in the Park MGM lobby is Primrose. This is where breakfast is held for Nomad guests. I really loved this place. I thought it had excellent food. So, I think I received about $66 in credit to use for breakfast for two here. They have a nice outdoor seating area for the summer months. I just sat at the bar because that was really the only thing available. So if you are a breakfast person and you have that credit, I would get in line or put your name down on the list a little early because it did seem pretty busy on my stay, but this Mediterranean dish was out of the park. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on our next resort tour.